Welcome back to Legally Uncensored. I'm your host, Demetria Graves, and this season we are untangling hearts and unveiling truths. Uncensored conversations on divorce, family law, relationships, and beyond. This season, we will now navigate relationships with strength, strategy, and resilience. That is not just divorce, but the many stages of relationships to prepare you for a better future. Today's episode is truly empowering. We're diving into the theme of blossoming after divorce because while divorce can feel like the end of one chapter, it's often the beginning of an even more powerful journey. My guest today is Valeka Jessica, who knows this experience firsthand. Valeka was married for 10 years, and she never imagined that her marriage would end in divorce. But as life would have it, that unexpected chapter brought her something that she never expected: personal transformation. Divorce wasn't just an end for Valeka, it was a resurrection. And I love that. Affectionately known as V, Valeka emerges as a sophisticated and indisputable talented figure, sparking industry wide excitement for quite some time. This actress is known for her brilliantly accurate, spot on Kim Wayans impersonation and sketch comedy, gaining millions of views within days of posting her videos. Valeka's dynamic and fearless portrayals of strong female lead characters truly embody excellence, solidifying her status as one of the Hollywood's hottest stars, known to do both drama and comedy. But today, she'll be sharing her journey with us, how she unearthed her true self, blossomed into her higher purpose, and turned her experience of divorce into a tool to help other women. Valeka has written a powerful guided journal designed to help women find their divinity, strength, and purpose after divorce. So, let's get into her story and the 11 tips we think will help you thrive after this life-changing event. So without further ado, let's welcome a phenomenal actress, podcaster, and more. Welcome, Valeka Jessica.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi. I'm just inspired reading your story and what you have accomplished because, as you know, so many people feel like the divorce is the end. So this is so powerful to see your beautiful self thriving in the world and doing all that you do. We are so happy to have you and would like you to introduce yourself and tell everyone what you want us to know.
It's so, you know what? Every time someone asks, like, introduce yourself, it's just like, who am I? And I'm just like, I'm a peaceful woman. I'm kind. I am abundant. I am, I don't know. I never know how to answer that question. Like, who am I? I'm an actress. I'm a comedian. I'm a lover. I'm someone that believes in always, being the best version of myself every moment of every day. I expect the most out of myself. I love myself fearlessly, right? Like, I'm a lover. I don't know.
And you are here with us.
I'm so many things.
You are.
What'd you say?
I said, and you are here with us, and you are a survivor, and you are thriving after divorce, which a lot of women just don't think they can do. So I'm so happy that we get to hear from you, and you get to be an inspiration to so many. So again, thank you for coming on the show.
No, yeah.
So we're going to jump right in. And it's my understanding that you never imagined that you would get divorced. Why is that?
So my ex-husband and I, we were, I think Crystal, I think, your producer Crystal maybe had met us a couple of times. So we were just a really great couple. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It was genuine love.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. I will forever say it. We were just in love. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're young in love, when you're 26, 27 and you're married, and this is like you have your partner and you're like, it's you and your partner against the world, it's like, what can we not do? Like, we can do everything. So just honestly, the type of person that I am, like everything that I set out to do, I do it. Period. Point blank. Like, I don't worry about the time it takes me to get it done. I'm going to get it done.
Mhm.
If I say I'm going to be the greatest at this, oh, I'm going to be the greatest.
Mhm.
If I say I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it. So just my personality,
Mhm.
right? We get married, and we stay married until death do us part. I'm going to see you in heaven, and I'm going to find you there too. Like, that literally, no, I'm finding you there.
Right.
Like, where you at? Oh,
Right.
all right, there you go, boom.
Right.
And here we are, husband and wife in heaven. We partying. So that's just my personality. So, when the separation occurred, it was just like, wow, like something that I set out to do, like, oh.
So what happened? Because you seem very outgoing and in tune with who you are. So you didn't see that there was a breakdown. What happened? We want to know the tea. What happened?
I've created a whole platform about the tea. So no, this is the thing. Like, I think getting married really young, I just didn't know how to pick a partner that like worked for me where I needed to go. And that's genuine. That's really what it was. I don't have anything bad to say about him and the marriage. It's just I did not know how to pick a partner. We were in love. Love is not enough. It's not enough. It's not the basis off of just to marry someone. Oh, he gives me butterflies, right? And so we just realized that we wanted different things. Like, I am a huge power couple woman. I love to build. I like to get money with my man. I like to create. And we were just so different. And I didn't know, like, I just didn't know. I didn't know the questions to ask. Like, I was talking to a dear friend of mine the other day, Jael. She's an amazing actress, an amazing motivational speaker. And I was literally like, in the Black community, like, we don't teach each other how to date. Right. We don't teach like our young women and men how to date properly. Right. So it was like, you're not even reared in the direction to learn even how to choose partners. Right. So everything was based on how I felt. He gives me butterflies. Oh my gosh, I'm so in love. We have so much fun. Right. But it's like, well, where are we going to go from there? Like, I'm talking about stocks and are we investing? And he looking at me like I'm crazy. So it was just like, and I started to discover this in my, like, at 28, at 29, I was like, why aren't we having these conversations? But you didn't have these conversations because y'all didn't even talk about them when you were dating. Because you were so in love.
Yeah, we had another guest that told us the same thing, right? That, yeah, a lot of couples go in, and I don't think it's just young couples. I think it's, considering the divorce rate is 50%, a lot of people aren't talking. A lot of people aren't having the conversations and just jumping in and hoping they figure it out. So to that end, was there one thing that you just said, you know what, this is just not going to work? Or was that something he said? How did you get to the divorce process?
Well, he left me. And I keep it 100. Like, people are like, what? Yeah, girl took him to the airport. Didn't know he was leaving. No, seriously, he left me straight up. We were having issues. Like, we were in year 9, year 10 at this, we were having significant issues. We were going through IVF. We were trying to have a child. We were not successful at that. He was just extremely career driven. He's an incredible musician, an incredible drummer. And we were not seeing eye to eye. There was a lot of infidelity on his part. And a lot of infidelity, a lot of forgiving on my part. I thought I was forgiving him, which I was not. Right? I was not. I wasn't even in therapy then, right? I didn't start therapy until 2019. And then in 2019, like, I realized that I was like holding, like, I learned that he was cheating on, Lord Jesus, I got to see. It's like, when you start to heal, you really got to go back. Like, like, he started cheating on me like very early on, In what year? And I found out year 3. right?
Mm-hmm.
And I would find out from people calling me on the phone and saying like, "Hey," and I was like, "Oh." And then I would ask him, and what I loved so much is that he never denied it. He would never deny it. He would always say yes. And I appreciate that. Well, okay.
So
And you said something, my love?
no, I was just gonna say. So in year 3, when he started to cheat, did you think, "Uh-oh, we might have a problem here"?
Honestly, I mean, I think at that time I was 29.
Mhm.
I had just graduated from grad school. We were living in Los Angeles, right? Like, I don't really know. Like, I don't know. Like when I'm so honest. Like I was completely hurt. I remember being hurt, right? I remember a lot of crying. I remember just a lot of stuff. But I was like, okay, well, we're Christians and God fixes everything, right? So I guess we're
I hear that a lot.
fine. Like, and that don't work.
Right.
Right? You
Right.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, like right? So but what started to happen was, lots of anxiety started happening. Where you going? Where you at? Right? All that type of stuff, which is
Mhm.
exhausting.
Mhm.
And then he's doing his best to make me feel secure, which like thank you, gratitude,
Right.
right? But then it's like, then it happens again. And then I ask you again, and then you're honest again. And it's just like, just it's all this, it's just ongoing.
Mhm.
Right. And so then eventually, like when he left, he just realized, and I feel safe to say this because I think it's important I can't speak for him. I
Mhm.
don't want to speak for him. Right. So I'm always very cognizant of what I'm saying. And I always think it's, at least for me, when you've been married, I think there's always like, there's a part of me that will always want to keep that part of my life in some type of like sacred place, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Um, right? You know what I mean? Like, so
Mhm.
it's not about this nigga ain't shit. No, so I'm trying to speak for him the best way that I believe I know I can.
Yes.
And essentially, he just didn't want to be married.
Mhm.
And he told me he did not know how to say that. And he didn't want to hurt me. So we ended up in this 10-year marriage, because he didn't want to hurt me. He didn't know how to say he didn't want to be married.
So
And I
for
was like, well,
him,
damn, that was a long ass.
right? Did it? Well, I guess that would. Did you ask him? Did that start in year 3? Because it sounds like that's when there was some
I
unraveling.
think, yeah, it started early on. I think
Mhm.
he said year 2, he realized that he just didn't want to be married anymore, or be married to me, right?
Mhm.
To me, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
But I learned this like at the end when
Right.
we were separating and all of that,
Mhm.
right? All of
Mhm.
that type of stuff. So, yeah, like I don't know. I don't know. People get married so young. I don't like. I just think it's young. People say to me, "Well, 26 isn't young." 26. I didn't know what at 26. I was completely like, I am an actress. I'm a comedian. I'm going after my dreams. I'm doing this. Like I was in grad school when I got married.
Mhm.
In grad school, planning a wedding in grad school. Like didn't even take a honeymoon because the next day I had to go to class.
Right. So now that
So I wasn't even in the mindset.
right. But now that you're out of it, did you, for young women and women alike that are watching you, were there things that you may have overlooked or that you saw that you didn't want to address during the time, during that 10-year period?
So yeah, so paying attention to his friend circle, his friends were cheating.
Mm.
He was hanging out with them. Didn't even think about it. Oh, he wanted to do that to me, girl. Well, that's his core circle, and I didn't pay attention to that. I didn't red flag. I didn't even pay attention. Like, yeah, just really crazy arguments we would get in. We argued a lot in the beginning. I had terrible communication back then. We didn't know how to communicate with each other, right? So that, All these
Mhm.
all the red flags that would have said, do not get married. Like, this is great. Have a beautiful summertime love, enjoy each other, and move on. That's what it truly should have been. Um, yeah.
So,
But I didn't know how to look for red flags. I didn't know how to address them or anything. And I'm just being honest.
and that is so powerful. You said a lot, right? That you argued that you didn't know how to communicate, you didn't know how to look for the red flags, you didn't pay attention to the friend circle. So I think you're going to bless someone with that. That is something we
Well,
can start all
that's the
doing
hope.
now, while we're dating someone before
Absolutely.
we get into a marriage. With that said, so now at some point you're in the divorce process. You are, I don't know if blindsided is the right word to use, but now you're in divorce court with an unexpected end to your marriage. What was that like?
So I thought, like, my ex-husband, like I said, he's an incredible musician, traveled a lot for work. And so he was leaving to go to Australia to work, which is what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
And what actually happened is that he was leaving to leave me. And I found out on Facebook that he left. And literally, I found out because when he landed in Australia, he changed his Facebook, like where you live at, like he
Mm-hmm.
changed it to whatever city it was. I really don't remember. Melbourne, Sydney. I really don't. He changed it to that, and everyone in Australia was like, welcome. We're so excited you moved here. And I was like, he moved. I thought he was going there to do some work and to build business. Um, wow. And so I'm calling. He's not picking up. He's not answering. And he eventually reached, of course he reached out and he was like, I know we have a lot to talk about. And I was like, yeah. And he was like, I can't talk right now. Let's find another time to talk. And I was like, okay, cool. And so we found another time to talk. And I remember I remember like it was yesterday. I was driving. And he was like, I just don't want to be married. I don't want you anymore. He was like, you've been the greatest wife like a man could ever ask for, but I just don't want you. Like, I don't want to have children with you. I just don't want you. And I was driving down the street and I literally was like, I saw black. And I was like, is this what it's like when people say like they see the light, they see the dark, and it was literally light and it was dark. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I could either go to the path of darkness and I could either go to the path of the light. But for the first time in my life, I saw dark. I had never seen that. Through all of the infidelity, through everything, I had never seen dark.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, this is what people talk about. And I was like, yeah, I'm just use the light. So I chose the light.
Right.
And then, I made a promise to myself that I said, Valeka, you gotta come out of this, baby, like the phoenix you are. I had never felt pain like that ever
Mm-hmm.
because I just felt I was blindsided because I did not know. And finding out on Facebook, like I literally like was punching holes like in my wall, like I'm a very strong woman physically. I was punching holes in my wall. That's how mad I was. I was angry. I was embarrassed. Cause I knew I'm not, I was like, God damn it, am I that bad of a wife? Shit. Like, I said, my God. Like,
Right.
and it makes you think about yourself, right? And that's the premise of blossoming after divorce. And that is why I stand on this. It is not about him. It is not about the
Mm-hmm.
men, or if you're, love women and you're a woman, whatever. It's not about the partner. It's about you.
Right.
And it is about how you need to heal yourself and fix yourself to continue on. And I stand on that, which is why I can't go around bashing him and talk like I can't do it because it's nothing to do with him. It's everything to do with me.
So, where did you all do the divorce? Since he relocated, did you do it here in the States? What was that process like?
It was online. It was all virtual.
Mhm.
So, he ended up coming back to the States to handle some business, and he literally like came to Georgia, like handed that was an interesting thing. He ended up handing me the divorce papers. And I mean, I even remember that. Like I had like he told me he was coming, and I like literally I packed up all this man's stuff, right?
Mm.
I packed it all up beautifully, put it in boxes, I packed it up, prayed over it. But when he came to my house or the house that we shared together, I didn't want to have a long interaction with him. I had everything packed up waiting for him, and he was just packing it in his U-Haul. He handed me the divorce papers. It was very quiet. It was very peaceful. And that's how he gave me the divorce papers. And then COVID kind of happened like right after that.
Mhm.
And so we were handling everything like on Zoom, like email, like even with the judge, everything happened on Zoom because it was COVID.
Mhm.
Everything. And even when we were in the courtroom, like I was in tears, like crying, like ridiculously. And the judge, they ask you, are you sure you want to get divorced? And I was
Mhm.
in there screaming, crying on the Zoom. And I said, no, I'm sure. Like even through that, I
Mhm.
said, no, I'm sure. Like, yes, I said, but this is who I am.
Mhm.
Like I cry, I let my stuff out. Like I can't, this is who I am.
And
I said, no, please grant the divorce.
I can really feel your pain, and a lot of my clients go through this. Like they didn't know it was coming. Some learned from the new woman or whatever the situation may be. So
Mhm.
I would love for you to tell other women, how did you turn divorce into one of the best things in your words that happened to you?
Because when he left me, my God, everything that I ever wanted started to appear into my life, which let me know that I was not in fertile ground. And when I say everything that I wanted, that I desired, everything just started boom, 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 boom. And I said, oh. And it was my queen mother who's been divorced, and she's with her second husband who I adore. I love him so much. My mom called me, and my mom was such a great rock for me because I would just be on FaceTime with her, just screaming, crying, laying in my bed eating soup, child. Because it was COVID, right?
Right. Right.
So I'm just, going through by myself. And she was like, V, she was like, you need to really write this down. Because she was like, I've been through a divorce, but she was like, I don't know. She's like, I don't know what you have. But she was like, you're really moving through it like through grace, like with everything. She said, I think it's something that you have.
Mhm.
I don't know. I was just looking at all the great things that were happening to me. And it was the therapy, girl. I'm telling you, when you were in therapy, when you have a great therapist, I was like, well, everything that I want is happening. Right? This is
Mhm.
good.
Mhm.
Pay attention to the great things that are happening. Pay attention to all the good things, the amazing things, right? Like
Mhm.
I started looking better. I started feeling better, right? I started, booking more roles, right?
Mhm.
My friend circle was changing with the, the women who I desired to be friends with. I
Mhm.
started making more money. It was like all these amazing things that I could not accomplish inside of my marriage.
Is there something you wish you would have known when you started this process, to help you get to where you are faster, or how did this all unfold for you?
I was on my path when I met him, right? Like I say, I was literally headed to grad school, University of Washington, a top university, getting my master's of fine arts in acting. I was on my path, and I met a beautiful man, and without thinking, I was like, let's just get married. And that's when everything started to deter, and not for the better, and life became extremely hard. And I
Mm.
think a lot of the times that we have this pride in this, oh girl, this, oh, I'm strong. it's hard. I don't want that.
Right.
The
Right.
the hardest is going to come anyway. Like I don't want to like revel in that, right?
Right.
Like my life, I was moving and shaking, and then I met this person, and it just became hard, like just ridiculously hard, to where I was like, this is crazy. Well, we might as well be homes on the goddamn street now. Okay, I say no, this don't make no goddamn sense. Two people, we can't get nothing.
Right.
Something ain't right. And so when we parted ways, I mean, hell, he started blossoming and out of the shit. We both blossom on. We wasn't meant to be, and it's fine. So that's what it was for me. Like I was just like, look how great it is. So it was just like, if I can do this, I can continue to attract this. And then I did have a fear. I remember when I was in therapy, and I was like, my therapist, Dr. Jones, I love her. I was like, Dr. Jones, will a man want me again? Like I got left by a man, like, because typically women leave, right? And my therapist would be like, Valeka, no, like, she was like, why would you think that someone won't want you? I'm being completely transparent. That was a fear of mine, in the very beginning of my divorce. And she was like, no. She was like, why would you think that? And I'm like, because he left me. Something must be wrong with me because he left. Who's going to find me desirable? And she said, well, look at how you are building your life. It just brings tears in my eyes, because she's like, look at how you build your life. How can someone not be attracted to that? And I said, well, hell, I'm fabulous. And I'm grateful for that.
Yes. And you are.
And I'm grateful for that shit.
And I mean, that is a valid concern. A lot of people think it's over at divorce, especially women with children, multiple children, or whatever the situation may be. They think that it's over. And that's why I am so excited about your journey, your journal. I'm happy your mom encouraged you to start writing this out, because now there's a resource for people that were once in your shoes, which I want to get into, because I'm just as excited about it, just being a woman in general and learning how to blossom, may it be after divorce or just becoming more of a goddess or becoming more secure in who we are as women. So I want to dive into the journal because I'm very excited about it. And I want to dive into the tips you share to help women blossom after divorce. Can you talk about how you develop these 11 tips and why these 11 tips and why are they so important for the healing process?
So these tips were literally everything that I did. And I stated in the book, I say, this is what I did and this is what helped me. The goal and the journey of this book is to help every woman find the goddess within them.
Right.
Right?
Right.
That's it. This is how I blossomed. May these tools help open your mind, right? And take you on your journey. But these are things. So I just literally started writing down, I would be in therapy. And I remember the first tip, rename your motherfucking self.
I love that. That's probably my favorite one.
Rename your motherfucking self, girl, because I would be everywhere. Mrs. Holt, Mrs. Holt, Mrs. Holt, Mrs. Holt. If y'all call me Mrs. Holt one more motherfucking time, like I am blossoming, I am growing, and that is triggering to me.
Yes.
So what I'm learning in therapy is that I can create my life. So if I can create my life, I can change my name. And so literally that's how I, birthed the first tip. Right.
Right.
And then it was like, oh, he wants to come get his things. Right. Well, what is this journey going to be like? Valeka, do you want to burn his stuff? Do you want to do this? No, I actually don't. I actually want to say goodbye to his things.
Right.
And do this and do that and wish him well on his journey.
Right.
So I wrote that as a tip.
Did you keep anything?
Right?
Did you keep wedding pictures? Did you keep anything that reminded you?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, baby. Oh, yes. I did not burn one near picture. Honey, that is my life. I will not. It's my life. It's my past. It's beautiful. I'm so grateful at the point now where I can, you know how you have an iPhone and it gives you memories?
Yes.
And I'll see a memory from us from like 2011 and it makes me smile because I'm like, oh my God, I remember this moment. That's my life. And I'm grateful.
What do you feel about creating closure? Some people might burn a piece of clothing or whatever they do as a symbol to shut the door on this chapter.
Absolutely, you better. That's what the book is. That's what the one woman show that I have, right? It's the closure. I didn't get the closure. Remember, he left me.
Right.
He moved to another country. You know, we've never had the conversation to this day.
So create your own closure.
Create your own closure. Mine just happened to come through the area of art. I'm an artist. I'm an entertainer. And I believe that I'm here to heal the world. So let my stories heal you. You know? So that's how I did it, right? You know? And I honestly just genuinely just like to operate in love and light. You know? Because I don't want to destroy I care. Let me tell you something. I care more about me and my development and my evolution than I do hurting somebody else. Honey, I'm too fabulous.
I know that's right.
I'm fabulous. And then, child, you see that? I got things to do. Okay. Goodbye, girl.
Amen.
Goodbye, I don't have time. Bye.
You also have a tip of rediscovering purpose, right? Some people will say, I don't have a purpose. So how does one do that?
My therapist, do things that you love every day. Well, I love to walk in the park. Well, Valeka, walk in the damn park every day. Okay.
What about I loved being a wife?
And then what?
I love being a mom.
What'd you say?
Some people are tied to the labels they established during the marriage, right? I love being the wife. I love being the first lady. I love being a mom. How do you detach from that so you can find the purpose of just who you are as a woman?
Create new traditions. Chapter 8. Create new traditions. Guess what, boo? You're not a wife no more. You're not the first lady anymore. But guess what you are? You're something else, right? And discover what that is, right? You might have had movie night every Monday with the boo. Well, guess what? You don't have it anymore. What can you put in place of that?
Right.
Honey, divorce ain't for the weak.
It is not.
If you have to move through it. It's not for the weak. And I meet women too who just stay there. Yep. And I'm like, no, don't you love yourself? Let's go. Don't you? Hell, I'm getting married again, baby. I'm fabulous. Honey, these men be swooping me up.
But like you said, self-love often takes a hit during a marriage or a breakdown in a relationship. So how can one start to rebuild that? It's sometimes a huge hit where people don't even want to leave because they feel staying in what's familiar is better than having to look in the mirror and start to rebuild not only self-love and confidence, but a relationship with yourself. A lot of women don't have a relationship with themselves. So how does one do that if they've been so tied to this relationship as their self-love?
Celebrate yourself every damn day for the small thing. Tip number 9. Celebrate yourself every damn day. If you slept till 12 noon every day because you're depressed, and the day you slept till 11, you better celebrate yourself. And I really mean it. I'm talking about turn up for yourself. Buy yourself a gift. Take yourself. I am serious. Honey, I ate so much lobster during that first 3 years of my divorce. I mean, I'm serious. They got to the point where the Kroger around the corner from my house was like, ma'am, I said, I'm celebrating myself. Leave me alone now. This is what I do. Celebrate myself. Take yourself celebrate yourself. Put yourself in circles where people celebrate you, but you got to learn how to celebrate yourself.
Right.
Give yourself a bath. Douse yourself in beautiful oils. Honey, wear lingerie for yourself. Make love to yourself.
Mm-hmm. So
I'm talking about masturbation.
We're going to get to therapy, but what is maybe a first step for someone that's just not there? They don't love themselves. They don't know what that looks like. What is maybe the first step?
A couple of years ago, I got really sick. Like really sick where I thought I was going to die.
Mm-hmm.
I just had a really bad food reaction. I lost 60 pounds. I was 90 pounds walking around. It was terrible. And for the first time in my life, I looked in the mirror and I said, oh my God, I'm ugly.
Mm.
And I just cried as I looked at myself in the mirror. I said, I'm ugly. And I was like, wow. I said, I wonder how many other women feel this way. I've never felt that way before.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I had to do was I had to truly visualize myself the way that I remembered seeing myself and the way that I wanted to see myself. And I stayed there. So no matter what I saw in the mirror, I was 90 pounds. And it was the hardest thing I had to do, but I would look at myself in that mirror and I said, girl, you look beautiful. And I'll be crying like, girl, you look like this shit. Like, don't say that. Like, you beautiful. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I would do visualization exercises, literally seeing myself how I wanted to see myself. Quantum leaps, right? There's so many on YouTube. There's so many guided meditations
Mm-hmm.
that you can look up. Quantum leaping into your next life, where you literally visualizing yourself. And I would sit in my bed for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and okay, see myself where I want to be, see myself where I want to be, see myself where I want to be. Even though I don't feel it, I don't see it, I'm not acting right now, I'm 90 pounds, I damn sure ain't no man gonna want me. Like literally everything negative that could have popped into my mind, it did.
Mm-hmm.
But I visually had to see myself in another way in my mind, because I wasn't seeing it physically. I tell you, that stuff literally starts to manifest into your life.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first step.
I'm loving the journal, and I hope everyone goes to get your 11 tips to blossom after divorce. And I'm so sad that we can't go through all of them, and I really love talking to you. But for the sake of time, can you give us, outside of what we've already discussed, 3 other tips that you found most useful to you while going through your divorce journey?
Goddess baths. Goddess bath. There is something about being with the water and creating this beautiful environment with flowers and essential oils and sea moss and aloe vera and sugar scrubs, and just sitting in the water and loving on yourself, getting all the dead skin off, talking to God about the things that you desire. Goddess, and I take them once a week, and I've been doing that for quite some time. And so goddess baths are something that really, 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 I love that tip, because I still do it to this day. I highly recommend it, not just for, of course, it's an incredible beauty secret. People ask me all the time about my skin. Well, honey, I'm bathing in sea moss all week. You should try it too. Creating your goddess crown. It's something I remember, I think it was birthday number 38 or something like that, because I'm 42.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I had just like bought myself like my favorite car, like Ford Mustang convertible. I named her Cutie. I had just it was all for my birthday. I bought it for my birthday, and something was like, "You need to make yourself a crown." And I said, "Oh my god, of course." So I went to like the little you know, arts and craft stores.
Mm-hmm.
And just was like asking questions like wire for crowns and flower crowns and stuff like that. And so I got the stuff that I needed, and I went to the store and I bought real flowers. We don't do fake things over here, okay? Real flowers and real jewels, and I just literally made this incredible crown. And I literally on my birthday, I think it was my 38th birthday. Like on my birthday, I went out into Piedmont Park and I had this crown on my head, and I literally like was just riding around Piedmont Park. This is the picture right here. Like, and I made this great crown. Yeah. And I crowned myself, and I said, "Honey, I'm a queen."
Yes.
And literally, it was people in the park were like, "Oh my God, you're a queen." I said, "I know. I'm happy you know." But guess what? So are you too. You know, and it's something about crowning myself and not asking anyone for permission, right? And these things might seem like, you know, little girl things to do, but it's something about that little girl in us, like keeping that lightness that just continues to keep me free and on my feet, you know, which is another reason why I'm so desirable by men, right? I'm light.
And what's your last tip for the people?
Last tip. There's so many I love. I mean, let's see. Last night a DJ saved my life. Tip number 7. Last night a DJ saved my life is all about dancing. I don't know what it was, but literally dancing every day was a huge part of helping me heal. When I tell you, I am literally known in Atlanta for the girl with the music. I'm talking about music blasting out a cutie, like going down Peachtree Street, like music jamming. Like I will stop on the side of the road and get out my car and dance. I have dance parties all through Atlanta. I'm dancing in my house. I'm dancing on my balcony, dancing and having a great time, moving and being free. Like helped me so much because when I was dancing, I could start to see things. I started to visualize instead of my dancing. I started to manifest things when I was dancing. Ooh, I'm dancing on stage. There's a million people watching me right now. I'm on my world tour. I'm just having fun, right? And dancing every day. And I still do it. I dance every day. I dance every day. I have a great time. Well, you know, so essentially all of these tips that I wrote about in the book, Blossoming After Divorce, 11 Tips to Manifest the Goddess Within a Magic Book, they're literally just essentially just getting you back to who you are.
Right.
Right. And it's like that child inside of us and being fun and being free.
And this is beautiful. I mean, I'm inspired, and I'm, you know, just in listening to you and being a woman that's always trying to evolve. So how can where can we go to get your journal?
Amazon, baby. Shout out to Jeff Bezos. Amazon. It is up there. It is up there. It is up there. It is up there.
So
Amazon. And of course, if you see me at, you know, at my shows, I have them.
Yeah. And where can we follow you on social media?
At Valeka Jessica, VALEKA JESSICA. And at Blossoming After Divorce, right? We have that platform as well, Blossoming After Divorce.
I love that.
But I am that. It's synonymous on every platform. Valeka Jessica, Blossoming After Divorce. It's on Facebook. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok, right? YouTube, Blossoming After Divorce. It's all there. Fun content, great content, right? You know, especially I love my content so much. I know we didn't get into it, but you know, I love the fact that I have literally created characters and just different women moving through the different stages of their lives, moving through divorce. And now it's like I, you know, am doing a show about it, and I have 4 nights in Atlanta coming up in March in 2025. You know, where I get to, you know, present this new show to the world. So I'm just having a ball just on this beautiful Blossoming After Divorce journey.
I think that's a great resource for women to see that there is life after divorce. I want to thank you for your energy, for your beauty, for being here with us on Legally Uncensored. I really, really appreciate it. I want to thank all of you for joining us on an insightful episode of Legally Uncensored. Today, we explored the theme of blossoming after divorce with Valeka Jessica, her journey of rediscovery and personal growth after a decade long marriage is a testament to strength, resilience, and transformation that often comes after such a major life shift. Remember, divorce may mark the end of one chapter, but it can also be the beginning of something even more beautiful, a journey toward your higher self. I want to encourage you to follow us on all social media platforms, on IG, on YouTube, and you can also find more at Legally Uncensored and legallyuncensoredpodcast.com. So until next time, thank you so much for listening.